Hi, I'm Noah Lambert, and I'm going to give a presentation to you today about swimming and everything that is involved with it. You might ask, why am I giving a presentation on swimming? Well, I've been swimming for 10 years as of this year, so I have had a lot of experience not only in the club level, but as you can see, this is my third year with GCU. So I've had a little bit of time to deal with it collegiately too, and I've had the opportunity to swim for a lot longer than a lot of other people, so I know the ins and outs of the way it is. But more importantly, you might be asking, why would I talk to you guys about swimming? Well, as of this year, there are 335,000 swimmers registered with USA Swimming, and that is just swimmers registered with USA Swimming. There could be plenty more that are just going out and swimming, and ultimately, if you want to get your kids or other kids involved in this competitive sport, you need to know just a few things. You need to know what types of swimming there are. So there are two different types of swimming. The events that they could be swimming, and the gear that they would need in order to swim. So we're going to go over that a little bit today. As I said, there are two types of the courses, is what we call them in swimming. So there's long course meters, which normally happens in the summer. So it's normally for about a 3-month period in the summer, and it's in a 50-meter pool. So the 50-meter pool is exactly what it sounds like. It's 50 meters long, and it's the pool that you'd see in the Olympics. So every time you watch the Olympics, you see them swimming in a 50-meter pool. Now, the majority of our swimming, though, takes place in the short course yards area. It's in the winter, so it's about 8 months long, and it takes place in a 25-yard pool, so that's a little bit shorter than half of the 50-meter pool. Since 1 meter is longer than 1 yard, as those get longer, it adds up. So it's actually a little bit shorter than halfway, but it's pretty close to halfway from 50 meters. So it's a lot easier to swim for kids when it comes to starting for swimming. When your kid is going to start swimming, there's a few events that will be going on. So there's 4 main strokes. There's freestyle, which is shown right here. There's backstroke, which is shown right here. Butterfly, which is the Michael Phelps stroke that everyone knows about. And breaststroke, which is this one right here. So freestyle is going to happen whenever you are having a single arm recovery out of the water, but you're on your stomach. Backstroke is going to be the same thing, but on your back. Butterfly, you're going to have a double arm recovery over the water, so you're going to actually see those arms come over multiple times. And then breaststroke, you're going to not come over the water with your arms because it's illegal in the stroke. But there are a few different events that you'll be swimming. Freestyle has the most events. So you have the 50, the 100, the 200, and then you'll also have the distance events, the 500, the 1,000, and the 1650 in the yards, which is the 25-yard short course yards area that we were talking about earlier. And you'll have 400, 800, and 1,500 meters for those long course meters pool. Those are the ones you're going to see in the Olympics. You'll never see these races in the Olympics since they are only short course yards. And then for backstroke, you're going to have the 100 and 200, and those are both either yards or meters, depending on what course you're swimming. And same thing for butterfly and breaststroke. You're only going to have the 100s and the 200s, which are the registered individual events. In relays, you'll have 50s of strokes, but normally you don't really see that much, and in club swimming you won't really see that much, so you don't really need to worry about that. The main things you need to remember are these strokes and those distances. So those are the kinds of swimmers that you're going to be seeing and what your kids might end up being. Now, there are a few things to remember when you're going into buying something for a kid that might be starting competitive swimming. First, there's a difference in the suits that we wear for practices and the suits that we compete in. So the suits that we wear for practices are normally just regular suits, mainly because the smaller suits are cheaper. So we go through those, since we practice all year round, all the time, we go through those suits like crazy fast. So we try to get kind of the cheapest deal that we possibly can on those suits, and that normally means the least amount of fabric, as you can see right here. So this would be a traditional male brief, swimming brief, and this is the traditional female suit that they would wear for practices. Now for competition, these ones are a little bit more advanced. They cost a little bit more, significantly more actually, and they cover more of the body, and they're made from a fabric that tends to repel the water as opposed to soaking up the water as the other suits do. But as you can see, these ones go down to the knee, and the woman, they're full body, but they go down to the knee as well. Any suits that go below the knee are illegal. They have some, back in the day we had some really cool suits that would go full body, but those are not legal anymore. So if you come across one of those, don't get one of those because they can't swim in those. And then straightforward, you just need some goggles to cover your eyes while swimming, because if you get a lot of water in your eyes, I'm sure everybody has been here in a pool somewhere with all the chlorine, it really burns. So it's really nice to have a nice pair of goggles. Sometimes it's good to spend a little bit of extra money to invest on some good goggles because they'll last a lot longer and they're better for you, and whatever is comfortable is really what you're looking for. These ones are my favorites personally. They're called the Speed Sockets. They're about 20, 25 bucks. So it's a little bit expensive, but it's not too bad. It's definitely worth the cost when it comes to competing. So you might say, well, okay, now I've got all this knowledge of swimming now, and what am I gonna do with it? Well, ultimately, swimming is a great sport. It's an amazing thing to do for a lot of kids, and I highly encourage to get all kids in the sport of swimming, because not only is it super fun and super competitive, but it helps to teach water skills that will help throughout entire life. Drowning is the #2 cause of death in the United States among children, and it's really, really important that we get the knowledge of swimming out there and in a fun environment where they can enjoy themselves and it'll be a good time. So that is it. Those are my references, and that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.